Good. Thank you very much. So, guys, welcome again to today's call. The idea of today's call is basically to have the chance to have a Q&A session and that you come with any challenge, any question that you have in this journey that it's basically opening a coffee shop, right? It's incredibly exciting, but I think there's always many questions that you can ask. And I always say this, that I have created this course thinking of what I would have loved to have when I started my own coffee shop, right? Saying, okay, what would be my dream scenario if I would have found someone that could have given me all of these topics, all of this knowledge? What would I really like or appreciated to know beforehand so that it would really make a difference? So that's exactly what we have behind it. That's also why I make these Q&A sessions so that I get also to get to know you. What are your challenges? What are your stages? And basically exchange on how I can support you and what the best way to proceed is, right? Good. So jumping basically to the presentation, probably you have seen it in some of the videos. My name is Juan. I'm partly Austrian, partly Mexican. I live in Vienna already since 19 years, more or less. That's already a while. And basically 7 years ago, I decided to open a coffee shop with friends. This is called the Café. It was an incredibly interesting experience, very fulfilling, really, really great learnings, but it was also incredibly challenging. And what I also normally say is that it basically changes a bit who you are before you open a coffee shop and after you open a coffee shop as any of the other life big projects. So I launched the Carlo Big Cafe. It was a very successful project. I did that together with three friends. Also, one of the learnings is opening or not opening with friends. That was one of the most challenging situations that we have had. But anyhow, it was a very successful project. In the end, we won 2 or 3 years in a row the best coffee shop in Vienna for Falstaff. This is a rating company of restaurants, something like the Michelin Guide, but for the Austrian market. So it was really good, successful project. And as I said, I learned a lot about it. And after I sold my part and I got out of the coffee business, I missed it a little bit. And I thought, how can I use all of this knowledge that I gathered to help other people in the community, to help other people that have the same dream? And I just started this community of the Coffee Shop Launchpad. It's a very recent project. As you have seen, we started basically 3 months ago. We went live, and it has been super fulfilling. You see, we have grown from 0 people in our community to 1,300 already by today. And it has been super nice because you see the feedback of the people, you see the chats, you see the discussions, you see the dreams of everyone. And there's a lot of passion for the topic. And there's also a lot to learn from my side of what you want to achieve and also what I can share with you guys. So this is basically the reason why I decided to take the step and take everything to a community where I could help people take the next steps. Good. One of the things also why I started this community is because I realized that many of the coffee shops out there were failing. There were 60 plus coffee shops out there that were struggling financially, and this means that there were very capable people in these coffee shops having a dream, putting blood, sweat, and tears to all of these projects. And in the end, they were struggling financially. So I said, okay, this might be something also where I can help, where I can help people make less mistakes, where I can guide people so that they don't commit the same mistakes that I did, and that they can push their coffee shops forward, and that we can reduce the 60% plus that struggle financially to coffee shops that are mostly successful. Right? And what I have seen is that most of the people either come from a very passionate direction and they focus a lot of the coffee on the equipment or on the design, and they're missing the number side. What are the margins? What are the location economics? What is their workflow and hiring? And I'm not saying that one side is better than the other. I am saying that both of them are incredibly important. And probably you come from one side because you're passionate about coffee, but have nothing to do or not this business mindset. And my idea with this course, of course, is to complement these both and be able then that you become more profitable then with your projects. Good. What have I realized that most of the coffee shops fail? These are some of the mistakes that I have realized also with exchanges in the community and talking with the people in the industry for being within for 6 years is signing leases too early, buying wrong equipments, underestimating labor costs, copying competitors, or designing before validating or being unprepared for ownership. So there's a lot of mistakes that you can do. And I think also before you open a coffee shop, they don't seem that transparent, right? You never know beforehand where you're going to make a mistake. Otherwise it would be too obvious. And I think also, even though we open a successful project, we also felt in one of these categories, and it was a struggle for quite a long time, right? So this is all of the reasons and the package why we decided to build this community and go in this direction. Good. Moving along, what is the Coffee Shop Launchpad? It's a little bit of a support in all of the step of the way, from going from the idea, the planning, the building, and the running, and basically supporting you in each stage where you are. If you're basically only ideating, having a concept, or trying to define your concept, how you can bring that into numbers and shape it in a way that it's understandable for you to find investors, to get the money that you require, or to make it a plan that really sounds interesting for a bank to give you a lease. So it's basically creating this all around the view so that you can really go with confidence and take the next steps on building. Very, very interestingly, also in the last couple of weeks and months, I have realized that many people are starting also to approach me from people that are already running a coffee shop. Right. So why is that interesting? Because that was something that I never planned. I thought, okay, I will help people open coffee shops, but then people that are running coffee shops are also approaching me and saying, "Hey, Juan, how can you then make it more profitable?" And I'm also then going in this direction, but this has been a little bit of a surprise for me. So I'm helping in every stage, depending where you are, independently where you are, and I try to support, with tools, with setup, with trainings, with everything that I have at my disposal on bringing these next steps. Right? I consider that the free course, probably that you have seen it, has a high value. Why? Because I have invested a lot of time in it. I have developed this business case with many years in experience in the being a consultant, and in those years I created the first version of the business case, and then of course I have improved it, I have changed it, and 6 years of learning of having a coffee shop have been basically supported by creating this setup that you can get for free in the free community. So I try to bring this light so that you see the value behind it. Many people get into a community, say, "Oh, there's a free business case, it's not that interesting," but I try to communicate it because it is a lot of effort, and I try to share it for free so that people at least try to engage in the community and have something interesting to start with, right? Good. On the in the full community, you also just don't get all the videos. You also get training and templates, one-on-one support, the full community, and we're developing right now an AI assistant that will include all of the content of the course so that you can continuously ask questions. Right. So it's not only about this course and you get videos or things like that if you decide to go for the full course, or if you want more support. But we have an all managing platform. And I also like to bring this first example of Jonathan. He was one of the first customers. After I sold my coffee shop, he approached me and he told me, "Hey, Juan," we were working in innovation management together. He told me, "Hey, Juan, can you help me? I just bought a coffee shop because it was always my dream." And yeah, we sat together, helped him reduce basically his coffee costs in 2 or 3 meetings. So he went for paying 26 euros, I think, for each kilogram of his coffee shop to 16 euros per kilogram, what in the end meant really a saving of 7,000 euros at least per year. And he told me, "Hey, you're really great at this. You have a lot of knowledge. Why don't you move it forward?" So I'm also very thankful for Jonathan. If you ever have a possibility to be in Vienna and visit him in Phil Cafe, and tell him, yeah, that I tell a little bit of his story, it would be really great. And then, yeah, we've been working together in the last couple of months to improve his place, and I think it has also gotten to quite good profitability. Good. So, what is in the full community? As I mentioned, we have in the free one everything in the free business case, everything that you can get, and in the rest of the paid community, you have a lot of modules that you can go through that basically take you from the very first steps to opening a coffee shop and running it successfully, including also a couple of free recipes that we have, AI tools, and a couple of things that I have been focusing my time after selling my part of the coffee shop, right? And I also try to always give a guarantee. If you don't save more than $1,000 with the course and you open a coffee shop, I'm fully open to give you your money back, and you tell me, okay, this was basically useless, but I really don't think so. I have really structured everything so that it brings value to you and that you can use it for your purposes. Why do people normally join? It's basically to have that get more clarity, be more confident about what they're doing. So you're not living in doubt and making every step because it's the first time, getting numbers that work, and also validating their location. So really going through the full process with a little bit more confidence. Good. So, are you ready to build it the right way? Let's go for it. As I mentioned, today we have an open Q&A session. Are you ready to build something real? So basically, what I do in these kind of sessions, if I have too many people, normally we do it through chat, and I go through your questions by one, and you put them in a chat. But I think because we're a smaller group, we can make it a discussion openly. If you want, it would be also great if you turn your camera on once you make your questions, so that I can also see you, get to see how you think, how you react, what do you think about the discussion, and make it a little bit more personal. Right? So, having said that, with no further ado, I think I can open the floor for the Q&A. So, yes, I'm here for your questions, guys. So the stage is yours. Whoever has a question or has brought something structured, if you also want to share your screen, get a bit more into detail, take advantage that we are only 3 people today, so we can have a much more in-depth discussion. Good. Who would like to start? I can stop sharing my screen, come back to the call. What kind of great questions do you have for me today?
I can go first. Thank you
Yes,
so much for the
please, Sam.
presentation and the time that you're sharing. That was amazing. Thank you for the time and the
Mhm.
support. My first question is that as of now, I'm managing a cafe for over a year now in Vancouver. So
Mhm.
operation-wise, I think I'm in a good place. But
Mhm.
in terms of like business start, I was thinking what would be the best metrics to measure the traffic in one new place? Say, if you're going to reach out to realtors and they're going to come up with a couple of options for a new place,
Mhm.
what would be the best course of action to understand whether that district, that zone, that
Mhm.
neighborhood is a good place or not?
Mhm. Do you mean for opening a new coffee shop in a completely new place, or for assessing
Yes.
the one that you already have?
No, 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 for the new place, to
For a
getting a
new
new
place.
from scratch. Yeah.
Normally, here I take two perspectives, right? And this is varies a little bit because some cities have the first recommendation that I give, and some cities don't have it, right? Or basically three approaches, but two of them are very similar. The first one is, and this happens also here in Vienna. It's very interesting, but there's publicly available numbers in Vienna of how many people go by foot in many of the streets. So they have a project within the city where they basically count how is the foot traffic in the most popular streets of the city. And I don't know if you can Google it. It's not that popular and it's not that easy to find, but in Vienna it exists. I can imagine in places that are more developed, like Canada, specifically Vancouver, you will be able to find something quite similar, right? These studies from the city are very interesting because they give you a very good direction how much foot traffic you can have in a certain place. That would be the first tip where I would say, okay, it gives you a quite good hint. The second one would be also try to analyze the locations that are surrounding the place that you want to rent or the place that you want to have for the foot traffic. If you go to Google, if you remember, there's one place where you can visit how visited a location is around a certain restaurant or a certain cafes. I don't know if you have ever seen it, but they have this chart where they say how busy a coffee shop is, right? You can also do this, go a little bit more into detail, analyze and take all of the locations in the surrounding places and see, okay, how popular are they, how much visitors do they have, is it actually so, what is the traffic that they have. Of course, you also have the variations of how popular a location is. If you have a very popular coffee shop, will be a little bit difficult to compare to one that has just started, right? But it gives you a little bit of a hint of how many people move around and if there's very popular timings. And the third one, and this is, I think, the one that I would recommend by far the most, is taking one day off or half a day off or a couple of hours or whenever you can, 2 or 3 weekends, and basically go to that location, grab a cup of coffee from your favorite place, take it to go, and sit in a corner around and just with a counter, and try to count how many people go in front of a location, right? Just with a clicker. You don't need to, of course, count them or make any lines. I don't know if you have ever seen these clickers. You can get them on Amazon, and just clicking all of the people that go in front of it, and you will see. And you can also, now that you also have a location, you can compare with your location. You can sit outside of your coffee shop and count how many people walk in front of it, and you will have a very, very close relationship to the possible potential of this location just by doing this comparison. Most of the people don't have a first coffee shop, and that would be basically a very good recommendation that you can a very good application that you can do so that you understand the foot traffic.
Amazing.
Did
Thank you so much.
these tips help?
Yeah, absolutely. That was amazing. Thank you.
Very good. Glad to hear. Any other questions, Sam? Should we jump to someone else and then you come back as you prefer?
Sure. Thanks.
Perfect. Then we can jump to Alaya or Stacy. Any questions from you guys? Or girls, I'm sorry.
Hmm. Um, okay, I just have like one question, and I
Yes.
honestly hope it makes sense. But so for me, this is like of course my first time like thinking
Mm-hmm.
about opening up my own first
Mm-hmm.
coffee business. But as a starter, I am starting off in my mother's garage
Mm-hmm.
since I moved back in with my
Mm-hmm.
mom, or because the economy is rough. But
Mm-hmm.
um, but like after I start in my mom's garage, like like would it be like like okay, so like would it make sense for me to like transition from my mom's garage into like getting expanding to a bigger cafe once I get the funds?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think it will be a little bit of a process, right? Some of the
Mhm.
most, there's one, and this story I also quite like quite a lot. One of the most successful coffee shops here in Vienna, I would say profit wise, because they had made an amazing business out of it, basically serves coffee from a window, right? And they're called Fenster Cafe. So I think at the beginning they were also uncertain if it would work, if everyone would approach only a window and they could get a coffee shop. But they made it so nice, and they had a product that was quite Instagrammable, so to say, that they became incredibly popular. So yes, it would make sense, but of course it depends a little bit on the setup, right? Where is your mother's garage? How can you set it up? How popular can it be? How can you bring this product so that it convinces people? And if you see that it starts getting some traction, then you have the possibility of expanding it, right? And you take less risk because you have proven a little bit your concept. So thinking about it, how can you basically attract people near your location so that you can prove the concept that you have? And with that, I am very, very sure that you will get also the funding. If someone sees that it's getting popular, that you have something that has a little bit of a uniqueness, or that you have sell really great coffee that's in a location where the demand is quite high, I am sure that you will be able to get this funding quite quickly. Some customers also in our side, they started realizing how popular our coffee shop was getting, and they basically started asking us also, hey, how can we would like to get involved, can we open more locations, how can we help you, do you need budget, and so on and so forth. So yes, I see it as a possibility. You have to make it the best way possible. You have to give really great coffee and the people come back. It's always a challenge, but it's doable. And I think always one has to work with the possibility that one has, right? It would be very easy if everyone had the funding from the beginning, and the complete setup would be there, and things like that. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Perfect. Very good. Glad to hear. Any other question that you have?
Mm, nope, nothing I can think of right now.
Okay, perfect. Stacy, from your side, any question? Can be that she's away from the microphone. Good. I would also have one question from you guys, and also taking advantage of the time that we're a smaller group. If you see the course as it is and as it's structured, but I always like to hear about you a little bit. What would you love to see in a course like this, right? What would be for you a game-changing thing that you would say, oh, I would definitely need it so that I can basically create my dream shop? Anyone has an idea? I don't know, Sam?
I can go first. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, we
Because
can hear you
I
well. I
can
don't know
hear
why we
myself
have you.
as well.
We have you three times in the
Yeah, I'm
call.
not sure
I don't
what
know
is
what
going
happens.
on, but I'm gonna join back.
No, it's problem. It's problem. No problem. We can hear you good. Probably you have the tab open a couple of times. Hello, Christina. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, good, good,
Yes, we
good.
can.
Sorry. No, I just joined literally 2 seconds ago.
Yes,
As you
I
can
see.
see, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Oh, I had a really hectic day, so I just arrived actually home, and right now I just realized that Jesus Christ, I
No
miss your,
problem.
I miss your audition. So yeah. Oh, just please, I didn't mean to disturb you.
No, no
Just
problem. No problem. We're just
okay.
making it an open conversation because the call is not that big today, so we can discuss it a little bit more openly. So if you
Oh,
have any questions, just drop them. And I just shared a question with a group of what they would really love to see in a course that they say, like, okay, this is a game changer for me. I think, Sam,
yeah.
now you solved your technical issue.
I don't know. I don't know why. I have a technical.
No, no, no. Sam had a technical issue. We hear you perfectly, Christina.
Yeah, okay. All right, all
Yes.
right. Well, to tell you the truth, I say, so happy and excited that after we talked, and
Mm-hmm.
it's given me so much strength. And actually, I wanted to ask you that this course,
Mm-hmm.
actually, what we're about to learn from you,
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is it only working for coffees? It's specialized on coffee selling
Mm-hmm.
properties or stuff, or um, is it? It can contain other beverages, for example, or other maybe food. So is this
Mm-hmm.
kind of? It's only specialized your marketing
Mm-hmm.
on coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just.
I mean,
Understand.
I think that's a very good question. I specialize it in coffees. You're fully right because there's
Mhm,
where I have most of my experience, right? I have
mhm,
gathered and created this coffee shop. We also had small food and other beverages. So we had
mhm,
what we call like a coffee bar. We sold
mhm.
beers and wine and aperol and small breads and
Yeah.
some really easy things to prepare for food. I think many of the learnings that you can get could be adapted also even to a restaurant, but
Mhm,
the
mhm.
complexity is a little bit different and it's a little
Yeah.
bit higher.
Yeah.
So yes, the course is specialized for coffee shops because I realize there's many people passionate about it out there for coffee shops. I think there's also many people passionate about restaurants,
Mhm,
but the learnings could also fit, right? And if you need guidance in a more restaurant or brunch kind of place, I think many of the things I can for sure can help you with. We'll have to
yeah.
adapt it a little bit, but it
Cool.
would be
Cool.
yes.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
problem. Yes, I also enjoyed our discussion last week quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Me.
No.
Yeah. Me. It was. I don't know, more than an hour. Definitely. It
Yes,
was
yes,
like
yes.
I felt so good. I felt so lifted. My spirit was so lifted, and I felt again that, oh my God, it's me again. I felt myself
Mm-hmm.
again, and I felt that I can see the way out
Mm-hmm.
from the cave. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was really good. I'm really I was talking about you to
Mm-hmm.
my friends and relatives, and they
Mm-hmm.
just realized the changes on my faces, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, it was really good. I'm really good. Thank you so much for that. I mean, I
Okay,
can't stop
really glad to
mentioning.
hear. Yes, really glad to
Yeah,
hear that I can give a little bit of the passion through, at least
yeah,
through a screen. Yes, through a
yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah. What
Yeah.
I would like is that because my circumstances that I'm still waiting to selling my bloody flat in Hungary, and the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that I can't move direction to. Well, I don't know if I should start something here or. I don't think it's a good idea because I would like to live in Spain. I would like to live my life down in Spain. And the
Hmm.
thing is that, because I'm a European, Hungary is European Union, so I don't need any kind of visa or something. I don't need any work permit to work in Spain. So it's
Hmm.
cool. And anyway, I got my insurance number, like it's like a NIA number. It's like a NI number for UK.
Hmm.
But so I got all my papers, all my everything to work. Uh,
Hmm.
but I don't know if I can help myself with that if I start to, um, yeah, obviously because I start this course here. So I would
Hmm.
like to be ready. By the time
Hmm.
I'm moving to Spain, I would like to have all the knowledge and all the ideas and everything. So
Hmm.
you know what I mean. I don't want to
Absolutely.
waste my time in Hungary doing nothing.
Hmm.
I would like to build my future and my work and my jobs and
Hmm.
everything, work life,
Well,
while
what I
I'm in
would
Hungary.
what I would definitely start going through in your situation would be
Hmm.
all of the research that you can do
Hmm.
on the permits that you need, what kind
Yeah,
of training you would need. In Austria, for
yeah,
example, you need to
food
make
hygiene.
a course for gastronomy so that you're
Hmm.
allowed to open a restaurant, right? So to think about what kind of those kind of things you need, all of the permits, the licenses, the structure, all of the research that you can do, so that
Hmm.
as soon as you are able to move to Spain and that you are there, that you can really start running into the direction that you really want, right? And that
Yeah,
will optimize a lot because you will
yeah,
not need to make all of the research that you can also do for here. And all of the websites are there, all of the information is there. You have all of the
yeah,
artificial intelligence that can also help you a lot in that direction of what you need to open a coffee shop legally there. And
yeah.
I don't know what kind of entity you need, what kind of company, how you can structure it, and so on and so forward. So I can imagine a lot of questions that you can already prepare and start
Yes.
investigating.
Yes, I get a ton of questions anyway. Yeah, well, actually, I started to look after this stuff to find out, and definitely I need like something like food hygiene certificate, and I need to have a certificate if it's a motorhome where I'm selling, or if it's just a small coffee place. Like, I get a rough idea. It's about five, six kind of certificate I'm going to need. You know,
Mhm.
it depends if I will have used milk or eggs or just coffee or soft drinks and things like this. But yeah,
Absolutely. And probably you can make some of the documentation that you need already online. So also think about that. What kind of paperwork you can do beforehand? Because as I
mhm,
know, and also coming from Mexico, I know that paperwork in some countries takes more than other. So
yeah, oh yeah,
the
yeah,
Austrians are more efficient than the Mexicans. So
yeah,
I would also think about the paperwork. Imagine
yeah,
that you go to Spain and suddenly you need 6 months to make some kind of paperwork that you could have started already
yeah,
there, right? So
yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah.
all those things, and that would be a really great starting point.
Oh, may I ask? I don't know if you can tell me, what is the coffee brand what you are working with?
What is I that was that's also a quite interesting question. We were not working
Sorry.
with any coffee brand in the end.
Oh,
Why? Because we decided and we realized, and this is also part of the things that we teach in the course and how I can people to get the right contacts for that. We were bringing green coffee directly from a finca in Guatemala. And
oh,
what we were doing was basically taking this green coffee. This has a couple of advantages in Europe because you don't
mhm,
pay taxes on green coffee. So
oh,
that's a
cool.
really good trick. So we were bringing green coffee from Guatemala, and what
Mhm,
we were doing was exchanging it for other types of coffee already within the city. So we only brought one coffee, which kept the simplicity in the process. We
mhm,
got it quite cheap because one of our partners was from Guatemala and knew someone from the finca. And then we would exchange it and had really great prices to exchange your coffee. So we were exchanging a commodity that for us was cheap for very expensive coffees. And in the end, we really had great blends, right?
yes,
So it's a little bit of a strategy about that. I would not recommend it to do it in the beginning.
mhm,
Why? Because that's a little bit more complicated and you get need to get to a certain volume. But it's
yeah,
not that much of a volume. So once you
uh-huh,
get to that volume, you can really go for it, right?
yeah,
Does
cool.
that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think yes. The thing is that it's by the end of the day right now, and I am supposed to write down all my questions, but my day was so fully, and I
Yes,
ended up in the hospital as well again. They was taking my stitches out
yes,
from my wound. So actually, I really had a hectic and busy day. But
yes, yes,
I couldn't believe that I just forget this course. So I'm really
yes.
still sorry. But yeah,
But
and
no
I
problem.
suppose
It's a continuous discussion, right? So you don't have to have all of the questions at once. You don't
Mhm.
have to
Yeah,
have, everything written on paper, but it's a little bit of a process, right? Go
yeah,
stage by stage, focus on each stage, and
yeah,
then you can the next one. In the next one, 1,000 questions will pop again. So
yeah.
it's about that, right? About getting to
Mhm.
that stage and being fresh for more questions and seeing how you can answer them the best.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thank
Uh, yeah.
you very much for
Uh,
your question, Tina.
it's all right. It's all right. I'm going definitely going to write down the next couple of days, and when it will be the next meeting.
We am doing this one meeting weekly in the community. So I
Mm-hmm.
think let me quickly check the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I have in the calendar. I don't know when I put the next one. It's on the fourth Thursday the fourth. Actually, Thursday the 11th of June, and the
Mm-hmm.
topic there will be about technology and tools for your shop. Right? There is really cool. I have one tool that I developed that I really love, where you can optimize the orders from your coffee shop with artificial intelligence. And I have something
Mm-hmm.
really a really amazing surprise planned for there, so that you
Oh,
can
that's
see it
cool.
live. I hope it works, but that you can take
Yeah,
a look. Yes.
that's cool. And
Mm.
is any of and sorry, one more question. I hope I didn't. I hope that I didn't take the opportunity from the
The
others,
stage.
because I'm just keep talking, and I don't know if anybody else would like to talk as well. I just
No
realized there's
problem.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people here and only me talking.
We'll
I
ask them
really
in a
hope.
second if they have more questions. Otherwise, we can jump to other people and then come back to you as you prefer.
Uh, well, it doesn't matter for me. I just didn't mean to be,
Oh, no problem.
uh,
That's exactly what this session is for. And we were also having some questions before, so it's no problem.
yeah. Yeah. So what else I wanted to ask
Anyone in the
about?
stage? Someone else has a question that would like to jump in?
Question back to your question regarding the what would you think? Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think. Sorry about the previous technical difficulties.
No problem.
Yeah, so you ask what would you think would be the best useful in this course? I think the one that you also mentioned, the AI tools for optimizing the orders. What
Mhm,
I'm fantasizing in my mind is that in operation level, I have all these toolkits. Say I have the weekly budget for the
uh-huh,
labor, and I can allocate those to through
uh-huh,
the scheduling, right? But a level
mhm,
higher than that in the profit and loss or the business
mhm,
management level, I'm lacking those
mhm,
toolkits. For example, I don't really know what should be the best dedication between the labor, food cost, and the profit, or how to
interesting. Mhm,
extract the labor budget out of those
mhm,
monthly number and allocate
mhm,
the budget to each week. So in my mind,
mhm,
I thought that maybe the best useful toolkits would be the actual spreadsheets that can be used
mhm,
based on the different scenarios. At
mhm,
least that was what I was thinking.
mhm. I think that that's a really great question, Sam. And if I'm very honest, this is one of the things that we struggled a lot with in the first years of the coffee shop. Why? Because if you're new and it's your first coffee shop, you have no clue how the distribution of cost should be, and also how the optimization of personnel. Right? I will tell you from the thumb rules that we have here in Austria. I always say they don't apply to everywhere in the world because they can vary a bit. So I know that for Latin America, the structure of the cost would be completely different. But what I normally see, and I think it does apply to Canada, is that you have from the whole revenue that you have in a coffee shop, that it's netto, your netto revenue, you have to have approximately, if you're a good coffee shop, around 30% of costs allocated to personnel, right? 30% allocated to variable costs. So all of the costs that basically vary depending on how much you sell. But if you sell more, of course, it will be more to the revenue. But you know what I mean? 30%. And then you will have 20% allocated to what we call then the fixed costs. This leaves you basically to a target profit of 20%. If you use this basic model, basically you can then allocate the personnel costs and see how much you can spend in personnel before you're going too much. And if you use this as a KPI, it becomes very powerful, because you will see the months that you have more than 30% on personnel costs, it means that you're over, you have too many people on the floor, and they're losing basically a little bit their time, and it's not optimized, right? If you go
Yeah,
too much
over
below, which is,
scheduling. Yeah.
if you go too much below, that's also the case sometimes, you will see that they're too much under pressure. So it's about finding that sweet spot. But I think for Canada, it should be very similar. So you should say, take your revenue for the month, then divide it by make this distribution that I mentioned, 40%, 30, and 20. And then from this 40% of personal costs, see how much you really have in personal costs, and see if you're above or below, right?
Perfect. That
I
was
think
a
I said,
very good answer. Thank you so much. So just to review, you said 30% should be the labor cost.
yes, I'm
30%
sorry,
should
I
be,
40, 30% should
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah,
This they
yeah.
actually talk about a lot about this in the first videos, but yes.
Oh, perfect. So 30% labor cost and 30%
Uh,
is the food cost. Whatever we purchase, like oat milk, and beans, whatever we
mhm.
purchase, right? And then the fixed cost, 20% is for the rent, for the electricity, and the rest of the fixed costs, right? So at the
Exactly.
end, the optimum number is the 20% profit margin for the cafe.
Mhm. That should be your target, yes.
Yeah, and what do you think it should be the ROI for the first year? Is it gonna be profitable from the first year, or this 20% is gonna emerge after
Mhm.
like 6 months or so?
Yeah. For me, the return of investment depends a lot on your investment, right? So how much you have invested in it, how much you can take out. So this is always a tricky question for us. If you talk about profitability, our coffee shop, for example, was profitable from the beginning. So it was making money, and it was making positive money. So we were not losing when we were opening, right? But the return of investment, we will need to take a look and sit down and see what you interpret for return of investment, and yeah, and also your investment that you have made, to see how much would be as a time span that you would require to bring it back, right?
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But I really like your question, and I can also see, that you've been in the business already for a while, because you start thinking in this direction. And for us, it took us a while to get these things right. Perfect. Thank you very much, Sam, and also thank you very much for your feedback of what you would like to see in the course. Someone else? Any other question?
Yes, I guess I still get something. Is there
Yes,
any, sorry, can I, is there any,
absolutely.
hello?
Yes,
Can
yes.
you,
Sorry.
can you say nothing?
Please go
So,
on.
okay, thank you. So, you mentioned that AI, artificial intelligence. Uh, have you also got? I mean, yes. When we finished the course and started decided to open the coffee shop, and
Uh-huh.
have you got any kind of programs, AI programs to help us to do the stock taking? Like every month or every weeks, for example.
Mhm.
Stock taking, the counting the stuff, how much we sell, how much we're selling for,
Mhm.
what we have to
Mhm.
purchase again and stuff. Is there any kind of
Mhm.
program?
Yes, absolutely. And I mean that varies a little bit on the region that you are, I think, depending on the place that you're
Mhm.
located. Um, but it relates a lot to the point of sale that you have. The point of sale is the casa system that you decide to go for. There's many. suppliers out there. There's many in Spain, and there's many in Spain that are also in Austria. So when the time comes, we can make an analysis which one would be the best fitting for you. Many of the systems allow you to also keep track of what you have sold and what you have in your inventory, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
can become a little bit more tricky for the products that are dividable, so to say. So if you sell a sandwich and this
Mhm.
sandwich has 100 grams of ham, right? To
Yep.
keep the track of how much ham you have, it's a little bit more challenging because sometimes your sandwich has 200 grams, sometimes it has 250, and sometimes no, you didn't sell that sandwich and you threw it away,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I understand that.
it can be
Right.
tricky with those kind of products, but there are solutions out there, and I have seen companies that do this amazingly. That they do it for every piece of food that they prepare, and they're
Mhm.
performing really, really amazing. There was a company I just took a look at here in Austria, and they had
Mhm.
this under control that I was incredibly impressed. They were doing it much better than we were doing in our coffee shop.
Really cool.
Yes.
Sounds really good. Sounds good. Yeah, just thinking to. Yeah, I'm actually trying to find out my limits and my abilities, and yeah, I was thinking that maybe it's not just coffee. It would be maybe some cakes or maybe some bubble waffle or bubble
Mhm.
tea or but anything that, for example, maybe for the start, maybe it
Mhm.
would be just easier to start with a coffee, and then
Mhm.
maybe I can make it bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's good that because the stock taking is it's very important
And
monthly.
I
Yeah.
think it also depends in the location that you find, right?
Yeah.
If you go to a very fancy location, you will have a completely different product or a setup that if you go to a very touristic one, right? Why? Because you will focus on the profitability and your target customer is a little bit different, right? So I would
Yeah.
not put a super fancy cafe probably
Yeah.
in a very touristic zone, and that would be very expensive. So you
Yeah.
have to understand what you want to achieve and who you want to attract depending on what kind of
Yeah.
location you manage to
Yeah.
got with the budget that you have, right?
Well, Spanish people are not very rich. Can say, yeah, I'm definitely. I didn't. I prefer choose actually, but we can talk about this later. I prefer choose to not they're targeting the rich people. I'm prefer just to the middle class plus the tourist.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I think also the Spanish people love a lot to go out to eat, and they consume a
Yes.
lot of products in the street, so that's a big advantage.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely, they love it. They love
perfect.
coffee, tapas, sangria, fajita.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So probably also from your side, Christina, I made the question to the group when you were joining. If you see the course as it is, what is the thing that you would say, this is amazing, this is exactly what I would like to learn in the course, or for you is the most important thing to have?
Wow. Well, that's a good question. The thing is that I try to not thinking forward that far away
Hmm.
because the thing is that if I can't if I cannot the first move to actually to move to Spain,
Hmm.
technically that means that I can't start this kind of business. But thing is that I'm waiting maybe tomorrow somebody buy my flat, maybe 2 months later, maybe maybe I hope soon.
Hmm.
And the thing is that I realized because Spain is totally different country than Hungary. The
Hmm.
people that are different, the habits, the customs, everything, and the lifestyle. So probably I'm going there. I'm give myself another maybe 1 2 weeks, maybe a month. Look around, and then I can when I'm going to round and looking describe. No, oh, what can I say? Sorry, I don't know the word. Find out what people would like.
Hmm.
Which type of coffee, what kind of things, and what is that? What are their habits, daytime,
Hmm.
nighttime, and so on. And then I can build up a plan.
Hmm.
And yeah, this is right now. It's not solid yet in my mind. I need
Okay.
to know more about the people, about the
Yeah.
area where I'm going to move, which is I can't decide till I'm in here in my flat. So, but the thing is
Okay,
that
no
I think
problem.
so that's a good idea to get ready. because
Mm-hmm.
by the time I'm arriving there, my plane is landing. I'm going to hire a flat or maybe hire a, I don't know, motorhome or van or anything, or maybe just a small coffee shop
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. And then I'm going to know that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
But
Thank
definitely,
you very much.
I really do want to do this course before I make the move, because
Mm-hmm.
I think my head will be full enough with
Yes,
other
I
thoughts,
believe
and
so.
I think it's good to getting ready, especially because I'm on my own. There's no other
Mm-hmm.
adult who I can make a conversation. Okay, what to do, what not to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's very important for me. That get ready, be ready for
Mm-hmm.
anything and everything, and then probably it's
Yes.
going to be
Good
successful.
stuff.
Hopefully,
Okay.
hopefully,
Perfect.
hopefully. Yes.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
sorry. Oh, sorry. One more question. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hmm, okay. So this, where is the base for this company? I mean, okay. For example, I'm going to do this. I don't know, not the mobile coffee place. Maybe just a small cafeteria, like for the, I don't know, 5, 10 tables.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a small one. Mm, how can I say? And you said that you're going to help me with that to order the coffees,
Mm-hmm.
do the stock taking and stuff. Where the coffees and where the goods will arrive. I mean, I guess the milk and the foam and stuff is coming from Spain because it's good for their economy. But the
Mm-hmm.
coffee is coming from Austria or from
No, no, no. I don't sell the coffee directly, but I contact you with the coffee importers that I was working with, right?
uh-huh,
And basically, they have a lot of coffees from all around the world. So you can
uh-huh,
basically decide and together with
okay.
them say, okay, I want to try this and this and this, and they send you some samples. With those samples, then we will find a solution so that you can
Oh,
get them
that's
roasted
good.
and you find a local roaster.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that would be the
Also,
idea
oh,
for the coffee side. The rest I would
okay.
try to source as locally as possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, good.
Hmm.
Also, it's like really the green coffee they important. The green coffee. So that means that even I have to find a place to roast it.
Depends. Yes,
No,
it's
it's a
it's a
mess.
better
I think it's
solution.
okay. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's a journey.
Yes, it will be a little bit of finding, see what we can find in Spain,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But that would
Yeah.
be the recommendation, and I think would be the easiest way to go directly to the suppliers and also directly to a roaster. So that means that you don't
Mhm,
have to buy everything for yourself, but only
mhm.
contacting with the roaster, and he will make the order as necessary.
Uh-huh,
So you don't
okay.
have to buy that big volumes that I was mentioning in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, yeah. Good,
Okay.
good. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm
Cool.
so sorry that it's a bit. Yeah, it's getting late. Uh,
Okay. Yes.
yeah.
So one time for one last question. I don't know. Probably let me see if Ahmed has a question that he has not had the chance
Mhm.
for today.
No, it's not a question actually. So I was typing for those who read the chats. I was telling her if you are here in Canada, I could roast for you. I already
Mhm.
roast for small coffee shops now, and this is my current job now. I'm roasting
Uh-huh.
for micro roasters. But
Mhm.
my next step is the coffee shop because I have two partners. They want new coming partners. They want to open a coffee shop. That's why I'm joining. So
Mm.
to be aware of the process and this kind of journey as well. But I told them,
Okay.
guys, you're gonna be care about the coffee shops. I'm gonna care only about the roasting process because
Mhm.
the roasting process is a full-time job as well.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. And you have a good roasting partner is always key.
Yeah. I'm
Not.
roasting myself, so we're gonna do the
Mhm.
coffee shops and give them the ideas how we can
Mhm.
sell based on the courses and other
Mhm.
what we see here in Canada.
Mhm. And what part of Canada are you based in?
Toronto,
Sorry, can you repeat?
Toronto,
Toronto.
Toronto.
Okay. Really nice. Really
Yeah,
nice. So in the
yeah.
community, there's a really nice part. I don't know if you have seen it because most of the people miss it. Let me just
Yeah.
show you calendar.
Oh, myself,
Here
I
we
roast
go.
and I even
Okay.
ship the roster to even all over Canada, to Edmonton,
Mhm.
Montreal, others.
If you go
I'm myself a startup.
if you go to the map part of the community, this is one of my
Yep.
favorite parts of school. You can see where everyone is coming from. and you can see
Yeah,
zoom in and out, right? And you will see the people surrounding the cities. Of course, the pins are off by 10 miles so that there's no privacy topics, right? But you can really go in and out and see which kind of persons are near you. Some of them are more active or less active in the community, and
yeah,
you can have the chance to exchange with some of them or write them directly, right? So you can zoom to someone that it's in St. John, see who is there, and basically write them up a chat, right? So you will see
yeah.
basically what's going on. So that's also a possibility in the community, and why I also find this platform so amazing.
Yes, we can gather together because call myself I'm a startup business, so we
Mm-hmm.
can like joint venture together. I give them, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if they are a coffee shop, I can give them the fresh roasting.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing different between me and the other local roasters, the local roaster usually they roast once or twice a month, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
While my main unique selling point is I roast to order. So when I get the order, I roast. So I
You
tell
roasted.
always my customer, if you need something, give me a week ahead
Mm-hmm.
because I roast and I have to wait like 1 or 2 days, especially if you need it ground.
Mm-hmm.
The order, for the roasting process, you have to let the roasted beans to vent for some time
Mm-hmm.
to release the CO2,
Mm-hmm.
CO2, and then after that, otherwise, if it is just whole beans, I can roast it and ship it same day.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, no, really
So,
amazing. Thank you very
yeah.
much. Good,
No, no,
guys.
thank you.
So I will be have to closing the call. Thank you very much for participating. Before I close it, I normally try to make an open invitation for you if you have more questions. With Christina, we have already gone through this, but you can book a call together with me, and we can have a one-on-one discussion and see how I can support you more into detail as you need it for your specific example, for your specific idea. Also, probably for some might be something interesting for you, and in that call we can define if I can help you more into detail or what the idea is or how we can make you more profitable, right? So it was a
Thank you
pleasure
so
having you.
much. Thank
It
you
was
so
amazing.
much.
Great questions. I'm always impressed how good quality questions come and how everyone's a little bit in a different stage on their process. But I really, really value, guys, that you join this kind of calls, that we have these discussions, and that I managed to see a little bit also the people that are behind this whole community, right? Who are actually motivated and going for following their dream.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really, honestly, it was a pleasure to listening to you again.
Perfect. So thank you. Have a good evening, you all, and hope to see you
Thank you
then
so
in the
much for the
next one
time.
latest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye,
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye, guys. Bye.